Here are my tips for success when starting a business or freelancing at a young age, as well as the challenges you might face and how you can overcome those with a healthy perspective. I'm Lucian, a freelance developer and designer. This is the second and final part of this series where I'm showing you how you can make money doing what you love by starting a business. In part one, I spoke about the benefits of starting your business when you're young, as well as my own journey through that and the learnings that you can take from the experience that I went through. So check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Now I'm going to get into some more practical tips so you can figure out what you should do, how you should do it, when you start, and all this kind of stuff, as well as the challenges you might face and some solutions to those challenges. So like first, obviously, what I think a lot of people struggle with is what are you going to do? And I think that's where you need to start looking at what skills do you currently have that you can offer? What are you currently learning at your current job or university that you can offer? And I think you'd be surprised in terms of what you can offer as a service, which is a great place to start. You can talk all day about like scaling a business past just offering a service, but I think to start off, you need to start just doing that service and earning money for it, which is an amazing feeling. So break down the skills that you currently have at the moment, whether that's technical skills, like say you can do 3D modeling or graphic design, or say you write a lot, say you do a lot of legal stuff at your work, say you do a lot of organizational work. All these skills are super useful, and a lot of businesses employ these skills, and they like to employ these skills not as an employee. They want to pay you for what you're doing just for a project, because some people don't need a project manager for their whole job. Some people don't need an in-house illustrator or an in-house designer. Some people just want to hire you for a project that they're running, and then they say see you later, and they pay you a lot more than they would an in-house specialist for that job, because you're only there for a bit. You get to charge more for those skills that you're currently doing now. Get a piece of paper, write down all these things that you do at your current job or at university, whether it's a specialist skill or a soft skill like organization. Write them all down, and then just go to the web and just start Googling. So like freelance designer, freelance project manager, freelance personal assistant, all these kind of things. Just look for people who are running businesses with the skills that you currently have, and that's going to be your proof of concept that you can do what you do now, but for yourself. And if you want to do it for yourself and have all those amazing benefits that I mentioned, it just shows you it's possible. 2, start building an online presence, whether that's on like LinkedIn or building an online portfolio, creating a website. If you're currently at a job now, or say you're currently studying, start putting that time in to build basically a platform and a presence that's gonna give something people can look at when you start approaching them to work with them. And I think it's a great time to do it when you've got that security of either student finance or a salary from your current job. So you've got that day-to-day process of using your current skills and then forming those skills into something you're doing for yourself. And while you're building your portfolio, you're doing actual projects and you're gaining that experience of actually creating things for yourself. So that's a great place to start. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, something on LinkedIn would be great if that fits into the sort of the vibe of your space that you're in, you know. So I'd argue certain skills, for example, certain types of design, like say garden design, or certain types of illustration and animation and stuff like that, you're probably not going to build a presence on LinkedIn. Maybe you want to go to Instagram and start building an Instagram following, whether that's just friends. Just start something that shows your work and shows that, you know, if you've got 12 people who are interested, like, it's a great start. Even if those are just mates, it's starting to like build that momentum before you start showing your work to potential clients, and then they check you out. You've got a presence, so you look a bit more established rather than someone who's just, you know, started with no presence. This is like, oh, please work with me, give me a job. I have nothing to show you, but you have my word. 3. Start building a network of people, either other businesses or maybe potential people who you would like to target for your business. If you're already working for a company, you might have a lot of contacts in that company. Start to follow them on like Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever platform that you have started to build your portfolio on and stuff like that. And when I say networking, I think that term sucks. Like, I'd love to make a glossary of terms and basically translate them from all these like annoying businessy terms to like a lot nicer ones. What I mean when I say networking, I don't mean going in like a suit to like some boring event and being like, hello, like I'd love to work with you, or what about those KPIs and blah, 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 blah. That's so boring. Like, all I mean is like, start making friends, like business friends. Just start meeting cool people who you find interesting or who you'd love to work with, whether that's like a whole business that you can follow on Instagram, or like individual people who are running businesses similar to yours or completely different, or businesses that are complementary to you. For example, I make websites, so I know loads of copywriters now because websites need text. They can provide the text, so it's a nice symbiotic relationship. Right, lastly, you're gonna have to figure out the big question, how much am I gonna charge? So the way it usually goes is, you start off, so you start undercharging, and then because everyone around you is always going like, you need to charge more, you need to charge more, charge what you're worth. You're like, all right, you know what, next time we're going to a meeting with a client or, like a discovery meeting or whatever to figure out what you're gonna be working on together, and you come back to them with a quote, you're gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna stick to this, I'm gonna give them my big old quote, I'm gonna start charging more, and then they come back and say like, oh, sorry, it's a bit too high, and then you compromise and you just undercharge again. So like, that's a whole process. I think if you're earning money, it's great, just start earning money. The fact is you're gonna undercharge when you start, and that's okay. But just learn to charge more during the process. You're gonna find a million excuses like, oh, I need to charge less because I don't have experience, I need to charge less because I'm young, I need to charge less because I don't believe in myself. It's a process. Charge what you think is right at first. Charge what you think is right for you to gain some experience, and just go from there. You'll learn to charge more as things go along. Saying that doesn't mean just undercharge forever, and that doesn't mean like charge pitiful amounts. And like if you're getting like 60 quid for a whole day's work, like that's not good enough, and that's not good enough. Use an hourly rate to start figuring out, like if I'm getting paid £200 in a day, my hourly rate's pretty good then. You'd be surprised what people are willing to pay, so you can always start higher then go lower. You don't need to hold on to the number that you first give them. A lot of the time, like what I've done with clients is I charge them my base rate, and then if they're like a referral or something, I'm like, but I'm going to give you 20% off or 15% off my usual rate because you're a referral, or because I really believe in your company, I really believe in the thing that you're trying to do, I think you're a really good person, whatever it is. Find a way to give them a discount, and therefore like you're charging your normal amount, but you give them a discount so you can get away with undercharging. And it's a nice way to for them to feel like they get an extra value, and it might help out. So there's a little tip. Lastly, here are some common challenges that you're inevitably going to face, and how to overcome them, how to perceive them, because your perception is going to determine how you respond to them, and that's going to dictate whether this business is make or break. Firstly, it's okay if you feel a bit stupid or self-conscious or embarrassed just telling people that you're going to start a business. I experienced that so much. When I was at uni and I was telling everyone like, yeah, I'm going to start a business, I felt embarrassed saying that, because it's kind of like, oh, all right, bro, you're gonna start a business and become a millionaire. That was what was in my head anyway. Obviously, no one actually thought that, because they're not idiots, and no one actually cares that much about your business as much as you do. Like, no one cares. So you can just do what you're doing. You make mistakes. If you put out shit work, like I produced a shit website when I first started, it's fine. Who cares? Like, just get on with it. No one cares as much as you do. It's okay to feel embarrassed, and people are going to be super impressed with you once you get going, especially if you're young. I get a lot of appreciation from my mates and people who are older than me, because I started a business in my 20s. Like, not a lot of people do that. You need to back yourself and realize how cool it is and how brave it is that you're deciding to start your own business from such a young age. Like, it's an impressive thing to do, so you just need to keep reminding yourself of that. And on that as well, people might throw a bit of doubt your way. Normally older people, like if you're in your 20s, your parents might still be around and feeling like they want to tell you, oh, you should really like maybe get a job here and do this and do this and do the sort of status quo way of doing things. But all you can do is just like tell them like, I understand that you want me to do things a certain way, but I'm going to try things my way first. And you just need to believe in me that I'm going to try this. And if things don't work, don't worry, I'll do what you want, and I'll go and start working for like grey ink and just get a grey job and live a grey life. I'm joking, that's mean, but you know what I mean. And when people throw doubt your way, it's one of two reasons. One, because they're jealous and envious of what you're brave enough to try and do. And two is because they care about you. And I think number two is the most common one. I don't think you actually get as much, shade thrown your way because people are like, oh, I'm envious of your life, so I'm gonna put you down. Like, I think what's more common is people are just wanting you to get a normal job because they want you to be safe. They know that's the safe option, and they care about you. They don't want you to go broke. They don't want you to like have your dreams fail in front of you or whatever. So just remember that people care about you, and that's why they might be doubting you. It's not because they don't think you can do it. Last two challenges. First of all, you're gonna struggle some points with money fluctuating, coming in and not getting enough certain months. This is where you just really have to try prep for it. I do think it's a good idea if you can hopefully save up some sort of savings buffer to meet your costs when money's not coming in, because you don't want to be catching yourself out, not being able to afford rent or just not being able to afford what you'd like to do. which also links into what I said before. It's great if you can start getting things going while you've already got the security of either being at uni still or with a current job. Lastly as well, you're gonna have to pace yourself, pal. It's a long journey. You have to figure things out as you're going along. Don't just burn yourself out and work like 12-hour days. I know I mentioned I started working while I was also working another job, but I just had to earn some money. It's not healthy to just like work, but I think what you will find is that because you love what you're doing so much, you don't really burn out as quick as you would doing, working like 10 hours doing your current job if you don't find that enjoyable at the moment. But pace yourself, make sure you're giving yourself good time off. I didn't do that at first, and I realized at some point, oh wow, I'm really not giving any time for like social occasions and stuff like that, because I'm just kind of addicted to working and starting this business. But basically, keep things light, keep things enjoyable, make sure you're having proper time off, make sure you're really switching off. If you're gonna have time off, like if you've got the weekend fully off, make sure you tell yourself, this weekend's off, I'm not gonna do any work. It's not, I might do some work depending on how things go. Saturday and Sunday is off work, you get to enjoy yourself, zone out, tune out, do something else, do something fun, and you'll come back to your business recharged and like ready to keep building. So that's it, that's how you can go from working a job or being at uni as a young person in your 20s and start a business, doing what you love and earning money from it. Just remember the things we talked about, remember all the benefits we spoke about, and most importantly, think about the first steps that you can take. Like I mentioned, I think a great way to start is just write down what skills you have right now and just Google. That will take you like 15-20 minutes and you'll realize the potential you have to start a business. So just do that. Once you've done that, start thinking about building a portfolio. Run through that process I went through again and just figure out what you need to start doing, what are your next steps, and hopefully what I've told you will inspire you to start a business for yourself. I think it's the most amazing thing you can do when it comes to like your work profession. It's so rewarding, it's so much fun, and it gives you so much freedom to just do what you want to do. So do that, you'll enjoy it. Thank you for watching. I'd love to know, like in the comments, what's the first thing that you're gonna do or what profession you're in. If you have any questions of like, oh, I do this, do you think I could start a business? I'd love to answer them. I'd also love to see like, what are the first steps that you've taken and what's the result of them? Like have you found like, oh, I do 3D animation, I didn't think I could do that freelance. So put those in the comments, I'd love to hear them. Subscribe for more, and I'll hopefully see you soon for another video. Bye. That was it. I hope you learned something from this 2-part series. If there's anything you want covered in more detail or any questions you have about like starting your own business, freelancing, especially things when you're at a young age and you're maybe still at uni, drop them in the comments. I'd love to help. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and stuff like that so I can start growing this channel more, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.